Hello, welcome to another Dhamma meeting where we will discuss the Buddhist practices of charity, morality, and meditation. Everyone who is interested is welcome to join. And our first participant for tonight is Alvin from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Alvin?
Namaskar, Ajahn. I'm just here to pay respect and no question in the moment. Thank you.
Okay. Professor Ken, you are next from Switzerland. How are you today?
Good afternoon, Ajahn. Fine, thank you. I have no questions at the moment, Ajahn.
Okay. You still practice meditation every day?
Of course.
Okay.
Still going strong. Yeah.
Yes, good. Keep it up.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Dhamma Kippa. Hi, Venerable Dhamma Kippa from Sri Lanka. Please unmute your microphone first.
Okay. Namaskar, Ajahn. It's such a pleasure to be here. Although I've been following you for quite some time, this is my first time joining the live session. So I also say hello to the fellow Dhamma friends. But at the moment, I would just like to listen and attend this. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next, outsourcing from Malaysia.
Good evening, Ajahn. I have no questions, just listening and paying respect to Ajahn.
Philip from Malaysia also. Cannot hear you, Philip. Somehow your microphone is not working properly.
Ajahn?
Okay, maybe now, yes.
I don't have any questions tonight. Good evening, Ajahn. I don't have any questions. I'm just here to pay respects and listen to the questions and answers.
Okay. I'll go to Sri and check. This time in Bangkok, I think.
Hello, Ajahn.
Good evening,
Yeah.
Ajahn.
Greeting from Bangkok.
How's your trip? How's your trip to Bangkok? Okay.
Yeah.
Everything?
Okay, just way more traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. You tired from your traveling and all the things that you have to do?
A bit, but we miss Pattaya. Not too many people.
You want to tell our friends what you do or anything?
Best trip of my life. Best moment. Best yeah, it's very surreal, but I remember some participant talked about like how it's different, like meeting Ajahn is in person and it's highly recommended. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel as well. It's highly recommended if you can. Please visit Ajahn in person.
Please don't. Please don't.
Please don't.
I have enough work on my hands. Don't give me any more works, please.
But we feel like in heaven, Ajahn.
Yeah,
so we don't have any worry or anything, right? For the past 4 days. Yeah.
It's
We went on Pindabata, we visited the Furu school.
Furu school, yeah.
Yeah, we went to the Sala Hall.
I highly recommend visiting the Puru school as well. Best school ever. I think like children and the staff and the teachers, really amazing people. And the Dhamma talk session, even in Thai, you can use Google Translate and it works quite well for us. And listening to Tan Ajahn in Dhamma's talk in person is yeah, it's like in heaven. It's really in heaven. It's the
Yeah, for me,
best thing that ever happened to me in life.
for me, in terms of the Dhamma talk, especially at the front of Tan Ajahn Kuti, I absorb more, even though I'm using Google Translate Tan Ajahn. But I think before that, because I do a little bit of meditation, so maybe more mindful. When you speak in Thai and I can see the Google Translate, so it does help me to remember.
Yes, good. Google Translate is a very good tool for people with different languages to communicate. You have any question lingering in your mind?
No question for me. I just really, 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 really grateful for Tan Ajahn and the Thai people that helps us so many, and yeah, and my really, really good friend Kunju and Mechi Mamio.
Yeah, Mechi
Kun
Mamio, yeah.
And, yeah.
We
many,
feel,
many good
yeah.
Dharma friends really help us a lot. Very, very grateful.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying your trip. I hope it can inspire you and help reinforce your faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha.
I think I'm in the beginners level, like the Dana level. I see a very big difference. Before I used to go on trips and spend on myself, but this time we did a lot of Dana. We spent on others, and it's so much more, like so much happier. That it really showed me the Buddha, or what Buddha said, like Dana giving out is so much more, is fuller and so much happier than to spend on myself. Like,
yes, spend on yourself. You get happiness briefly and then it's gone. And it leaves you empty and lonely and sad. But with the dana you give, every time you think of what you gave before, you can still be very happy from it.
yes. And the children, looking at the children and look how they enjoy the food, and yeah, and the people in the village, and of course, the Sangha, the monks. It's really, really so meaningful, and the trip is so much more meaningful than going on a sensual pleasure trip. Yeah, very different, the feeling.
Sensual pleasure trips are like addiction drugs. You have to have it all the time in order to keep you happy. As soon as you don't have it, then you feel sad and lonely. But with the dana you give, even if you don't have any more dana to give, you can still feel happy from the past dana that you have given. This is the happiness that goes with your mind. See, it's the happiness that sends you to good realm of existence.
Yes, I did feel that happiness. It's very different feeling. It's really full, like very beautiful feeling.
I was like in heaven. So thank you, Tan, just for showing me your workstation as well. You show me, this is what to be happy is all about. I don't need a lot more things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tan Ajahn, did you see Kun A today and her outfit? Kun A.
Kun A,
and her outfit. Did you see her outfit?
No, where?
I'm not sure if you know this. She said if somebody give dana and over 10 trays, buy 10 trays, more than 10 trays from her, she'll wear a new outfit.
Yeah, she wore one this morning.
Oh, you saw her, right?
Yeah, I remember now.
And we're gonna make it happen for her 3 days in a row.
Mm.
You'll see her wear a new outfit for 3 days.
Yeah, but that still doesn't make sense. She should give something away rather than putting a new dress for herself. You know?
Maybe. Oh yeah. Maybe she'll get that message. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I found it a little bit weird to congratulate yourself from the sale of your food. Yeah. So you dress better for your customer. I'm not sure who she's doing for.
She's very cute.
Yeah,
And-
but she's a nice girl.
Yes, very nice.
Yeah, yeah.
She's very cute.
She's
If
very
anyone
nice.
wants to offer Dana peanut butter, you can order from Kun A. Yeah, she
Okay.
does very good cooking for the monks.
And one question, like Dana will also overcome like karma tangha, like sensual.
It can sidetrack your sensual desire, because instead of spending money on your sensual desire, you have to spend money on dana instead.
Oh, okay. So that is without like we achieve like equanimity, right?
Well, it's kind of retard or slow down your sensual pleasure. Every time you want to spend money on sensual pleasure, you give it to charity instead. So this sensual pleasure will disappear from your heart, the desire to spend money on sensual pleasure, because you find that doing charity work is much more worthwhile, much happier than spending your money on sensual pleasure. Try it, do a few more times, and you'll feel that the less desire to spend your money on for sensual pleasure.
Yeah, and then we gain happiness from doing that.
That's right. It also will retard or weaken your greed for wealth, for money. And the more you give, then the less desire for you to make money, to have more money. Because money, is not really the thing that gives you happiness. The more greed for money, the harder you have to work for it. See? So you're stressing yourself more and more for more money. But when you give money away, you feel kind of lessen the load, lessen the stress on yourself. Makes you feel good.
Oh, is that what you mean? Like when we want to make money, we use a lot of sankhara, and
Well, you have to work hard for it, right?
yeah, we use a lot of thinking.
It doesn't come easy, money. You have to work. You can become stressful by trying to make money. Even though the money you make, you don't really need it in the first place. All the money that you need is for your basic requisite of life, basic food, shelter, clothing, and medicine. Other than that, money is useless for you, really. It's more harmful because you're spending on your defilement, spend on your greed, and you keep buying more and more stuff, because once you start buying this stuff, you become shopaholic, shopaholic. You have to keep buying. When you don't buy, you feel empty. You feel not happy. So you have to make more money, to spend it, just to give you a brief moment of happiness. Anyway, if you set up a goal, say that you only work for money for maintaining your body, for your existence. Anything more than that, it's harmful to your mind than useful. Because once you have more money, you have to look after it. That's the first
Mm.
thing. And
Yeah.
then you want to prevent it from losing, right? You have to.
Yeah.
You'll be worried how you're gonna keep your money, how you're gonna invest your money, and so forth. But by giving it away, then you don't have to worry about that money.
Mm.
Yes.
Just give only what you need. You know,
Mm.
anything more than that can become a stress. Can become a stress to your mind, rather than being happiness to your mind.
Mm.
Mm.
True.
Yep.
And also reduce your attachment to money. Also,
Mm.
when you give away, you're not attached to the money you give away, right?
Wow.
If you attach it to the money, if you should lose your money, you feel bad.
Yeah.
But if you willingly give away, you feel good.
Mm. Yeah. True.
Mm.
Like this trip, you give a lot of money away and you feel good, right?
Yeah.
But if you didn't come here and you lose them somehow, somebody stolen your money, you feel bad, right?
Feel upset.
Because you're not willing to let go yet. See?
Oh.
So doing charity means letting go of your attachment to your wealth, your possession.
Oh.
Mm.
You become less possessive, less
Mm.
attached to the stuff you have.
Yeah.
So when you
Mm.
lose it, it's not as stressful
Mm.
as when you have more attachment.
Mm.
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 And we all have to give up everything when we die, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you willingly give up, you're not attached, you die peacefully.
Yeah.
No worry. But
Mm.
if you still attach your money, you're gonna worry who's gonna get my money, you know.
So, Tan Ajahn, before one can get to first stage of enlightenment, meaning that one will have to give up like money,
External
like
possession first, before you can give up your money, your body. Your body is the first goal of enlightenment, to let go of your attachment to your body
Yeah.
in order to become a sotapanna.
Yeah.
Mm.
But if you cannot let go of your external possession, how can you let go of your body, which
Yeah. Yeah.
you consider to be most valuable to
Most
you?
valuable. Yeah. That's true.
So you have to practice giving things away first
Okay.
to appreciate the joy of giving away things.
Mm.
And when the time you come to give up your body, you feel that you'll feel the joy of giving up your body also.
Oh.
Oh.
It's like giving away something your precious possession, right?
Oh.
Oh.
Mm.
Like body, okay.
Yeah.
So right now you have something very precious to you. Try to give it away. See how you feel like.
Mm.
Mm. I feel like very hard.
At first, but if you can overcome that attachment and let go, if you look at it, that eventually you're gonna have to give it up anyway. So if you give it up willingly, you can become happy.
Mm.
If you are forced to give up, you can become sad.
Oh.
Mm.
So what do you want? Happiness or sadness?
Happy.
Yeah, happy.
So
So
you
I
have
think
to willingly give up because
so I have to go to Bananpur. Is it Bananpur more often then?
no, you can give up anywhere. First, give to the people closest to you first. Make them happy first.
Okay.
Sometimes you forget the people around you.
Yeah.
You try to make other people happy, but you forget to make people next to you, close to you, happy.
So I give her more, and then she's gonna give up more.
So you first have to give up to make people around you happy by being charitable to them.
Mm.
If they ask you for some money, okay, give it to them. If they need it for something necessity, something that is.
Okay. So from now on, I put everything under Check's name.
If you can do that, that will be good for you. You'll find peaceful. You don't have to worry about the money anymore. And if she should run away with your money, then you can become a monk.
Yeah. Yeah, before we forgot, talking about becoming monk, we met Jordan, and yeah, he told us that he's very happy there.
Yeah, Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan is very happy
Yeah,
there,
he's-
and one of the
I think he
luckiest.
says hi to everybody
Yeah.
on Zoom, all the participants on Zoom. He said,
Okay, good.
Yeah.
he's very, very happy.
All right. Anything more you would like to say?
No, we are also very happy.
Very-
Thank you,
very
Tanya.
grateful.
Okay.
Thank you, Taja.
I'll go to Ubeka now. You change your name finally. Alfredo from Sao Paulo.
How about that?
How you doing?
Okay, today it's Carnival in Brazil.
Carnival
A
Day.
lot of parties.
Mm.
Carnival is a party on the peoples have funny. Do
Is
you
it
know
all-
Carnival?
Is it all over the country or just some places only? The
In
carnival.
Brazil,
All over the country,
Yes.
everywhere.
everywhere, all countries.
Uh-huh.
Many funny. Play. Dancing, music, a lot of sensual pleasures.
What's the purpose of this carnival? To celebrate the spiritual or the ghost or what?
No, I think is religious, né? It's a pleasure, né, Brante?
Uh-huh.
To play, to
To celebrate.
forget it. They celebrate the life, they celebrate the things.
Mm.
The peoples don't work. Today is holiday.
How come you
Today
don't
is not have work.
How come you're not celebrating?
Yes, all people celebrate. Me not, né, but me I'm a Buddhist, né? I don't have many friends. I go to I live in club, né? Near the club, and have a swimming pool, and the peoples are in swimming pool, né? Very sunny in Brazil now, and the peoples goes there, but not have not to have not to have friendliness, but not to have I'm Buddhist, but the other peoples not practice Buddhist. It's different, the other people have other things, The people have money, the people have sex, the people have a meal, the people have sensual pleasures a lot, but it's okay. The other people's not they don't like, but they don't like the people's not the same things than they do, It's different, but it's other people's. It's normal. I meditate on afternoon, and the end of the day I go to swimming pool. Okay, see the peoples, but not friends, but not very friends. It's only other peoples, The Buddha
Yeah.
say that the things not have appearance, but the things not have appearance. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. Do you understand, Bante?
Not quite.
The difference, and peoples have sensual pleasures, and the Dhamma practice not sensual pleasures a lot.
Because
And,
that's the only way.
carnival,
That's the only way they know how to make them happy, by indulging sensual pleasures.
Yes, they very very happy there, but sensual pleasures is one life, two lives, né? Not enlightenment, né? But not sampajana, né? Sat sampajana, né? Not have a purpose, né?
Yeah,
Not have
they're temporary. They're not permanent pleasure.
yes.
Not like the pleasure from meditation. The pleasure from meditation is permanent. You can keep it with you all the time.
Yes.
Okay.
Thailand is how many Buddhists in Thailand, Bante?
Well, there are Buddhists.
50%.
90% call themselves Buddhists, but I think the real Buddhists might be I don't know, very small.
Very small, 10%, 20% really practice.
Yeah, if they practice meditation, I think that's very small. But they still practice dana and sila, give the five precepts and giving food to monks and doing charity work. But meditation is very few. Not many people do meditation.
Yes.
Okay. Nice talking to you.
Okay, but
enjoy your carnival. All right.
It's good. The peoples are very happiness.
Yeah.
The people's very happiness.
Anicca happiness.
Yes, anicca happiness. Don't work today. Don't work.
And tomorrow it becomes dukkha. Today's happiness, and tomorrow become dukkha because it's gone.
Oh, yes. I think no, but I like the peoples there, but the peoples, I like the peoples. I expect that peoples have a good life, but
yes. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Next.
All right.
Rohini from the UK. So how do you enjoy life?
Good evening, Ajahn. I'm very well, thank you. I have no questions, but just want to listen and pay my respect. I continue practicing and
okay.
Yeah.
Keep your mind calm and happy.
Yeah, very happy and very calm now. Yeah, I keep practicing. Thank you, Ajahn.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Next, Rick Cooper from Ohio. I heard you're gonna have another storm coming to you, huh?
Bante, good morning here. The weather's starting to break, actually. We're starting to get some buds on the trees and those kind of things. It's going to be 55 today. So that's an extreme difference from what it was a couple of weeks ago. But take advantage of it. I'll get out and work in the yard today and do some of those kind of things, which is nice. We transition our time zone transitions next week. Does Thailand transition?
No. Thailand remain the same time all year round.
I see.
So your time will be another hour faster earlier.
Yes. Right. Yes, sir. Thank you. I have one question. When we're and I'll say when I am going through, I've been around this thing for some years now and studied various traditions. I don't hear the Abhidhamma mentioned very often in this tradition. Is that not something that's a major influence?
Well, Abhidhamma is just a collection of all the Buddha's teaching.
Right.
And from the forest point of view, forest tradition point of view, we only concentrate more on the aspect of practice, practical Dhamma, which the Buddha teaches us to do meditation and things like that.
I see. Thank you.
We don't need to know all the Dhamma teaching of the Buddha.
Yeah, it's kind of a weakness for me. I kind of pursue things from a meticulous, introspective, and extraneous kind of process. So, I look at all those. I studied a lot of Burmese, and that's when I picked up. I was studying the Abhijato, and so I picked up Lady Sayadaw and some of the other influential masters, and really enjoyed some of it. Does this tradition, forest tradition, emphasize noting or labeling very much?
No, our tradition emphasizes the development of the Noble Eightfold Path. That's all. The triple training called morality, meditation, and wisdom.
Right. Okay. All right. I've read some of the esoteric kamatanas that were written on palm leaves, actually, in Thailand years and years ago. It was very, it was very historical and interesting. Very heavy read, though. There's been a lot of scholars that have really looked at it, and it was when Thailand was going through trying to protect some of the teachings, and so it was very good. But I have one other question. When a person, or when I am in my practice, I have very good meditation practice, I think, for the 9-10 years that I've been in the practice. With the outflow that I understand, the outflows of the asavas or the fetters, and the impact of the kaleshas covering up the chitta like barnacles on a ship in the ocean, when those break up and we start a purification process, whether momentary or the insights coming up through the day or whatever it may be, is it normal to find tension or increased stress for a period of time? I've attended some sessions on meditation sickness, and I think one of the things that happens there is that there's a psychological interaction to qualify the sickness of it. I've read somewhere people in some of the Vipassana practices, Goenka specifically, have went through some really uncomfortable processes as a result of the influences of the meditation. And I guess I'm curious because sometimes I will feel uncomfortable, well, not to the point of depression, but just a higher level of stress. And I'm thinking, is this a purification process of the fetters or the kilesas, or is the chitta just letting go of some of those kind of things and they're coming out through physical form? Maybe the physical form has trapped those in a cellular process and releasing those. Can you talk a little bit about that for me, please?
It's the resistance of the defilement from being restrained. See, when you use mindfulness, you are restraining your defilement, and then your refinement will resist and create all sorts of stress. So whenever you want to meditate, you start to feel stressful already, even before you start, you're doing it. But if you can watch a movie or drink something, this stress won't come up because the defilement won't resist. If you do what the defilement wants you to do, want it to do, then there will be no resistance, no stress. But as soon as you try to curb your defilement, then the resistance will arise, and then the stress will be created from the resistance of the defilement.
From the resistance of the defilements, okay.
Yeah. Defilement doesn't want to sit still, not thinking about anything. It wants to use the mind to think about sensual pleasure, think about politics, things about anything.
Yeah, I guess I'm more influenced by those curiosities as a result of post. I can go into a nice access concentration, into a nice samadhi, let's say, an absorption, and then later on I will feel kind of uncomfortable and I'm not understanding. So I kind of liken it to a drug addict being influenced in the body and mind with drugs. and then detoxing from the drugs and the kind of expression of that energy coming out. Is that not, I'm thinking too deep on it, or what do you think?
If you have any stress, it means it's the defilement that doing the work, creating the stress for us. Usually the desire for sensual pleasures will come up. Then you start to have stress if you're sitting and not doing anything. You'll feel sad, you'll feel lonely.
Okay.
But if you have strong mindfulness, you can suppress the defilement. Then your mind can become calm and peaceful and happy.
So to a degree, we are releasing those defilements and coming up, and they're, let's say, detoxifying.
We're not releasing. They are working all the time, 24 hours a day. We're
Right,
trying
right.
to suppress them. And when
Right,
you try to suppress them, they start to react strongly to our suppression by creating stress for us to experience.
Oh, okay. It just kind of clicked for me. Thank you. I think I understand. Thank you.
All right?
Thank you, sir.
It's a struggle between the Dhamma and the defilement, really.
Right,
This is
right,
what it
right.
is.
Exactly what I was thinking. Thank you.
All right? Okay, good. Anything else?
No, just going to enjoy the weather and the outside work. I haven't been outside in so long. It seems like I've just been cabin fevered here, so I hope one day to come to Thailand and meet you personally like the other folks we're talking about. That would be a grand experience for me.
Okay, good. Maybe I'll see you one day.
Hopefully.
You're welcome. Next, Tommy. Are you around? Okay. Still in Australia?
How are you, Ajahn?
Good, thank you. You're still in Australia?
Still in Australia. I just get my question, sorry. My first question, I try the Dukkha Vedana practice again. I noticed, I think I told you last week, I had a problem with my butt, and I had to stick a needle in there to try and drain it. And I noticed when the pain come up, I get a reaction of pity. I thought, oh, that's weird. And then that night, I was walking Jonkrom late at night, and my closest neighbor maybe like 1 kilometer away, and we have lots of crime around here. So I sometimes the fear comes up, and I got sick of it. So it's like I'm gonna do the Dukkha Vedana practice. So I started sitting until the pain became really strong. I was sweating. I feel like I'm gonna vomit, and my heart starts hurting. So I was getting in there. And then the pity came, and it was kind of like going down a water slide or something, or like a dog in the back of a pickup truck stick its head out into the wind, and then the pity gives me like the strength to fight. And I just go back and forth like that. And eventually it become like a referee watching a tennis match. And I'm like, oh, wow, who's going to win? And then after a few hours, I just let go of it. And I'm like, if it dies, it dies. If it lives, it lives. Like fear of death never really stopped anyone from dying. And I start to contemplate the Vedana, and I see it's just a phenomena. It just arises and ceases. The body just arises and ceases. And then I think about the chitta as it's separate, and as long as there's no clinging to the Vedana and the internal conversation stops, there's no dukkha because it's separate. And I feel like Vedana is just like a colored contact lens. It's on the eye. It looks like the eye is colored by it, but it's not. It's actually separate. And then eventually I get down to, well, if dukkha and sukha are both impermanent and they arise and pass away, what is it that knows that they're different? And then yeah, I didn't get past that. And eventually it's like a speed bump and I get bumped out of it. And then I have to give up and then get up. So yeah, that's my experience.
Well, the goal is to eliminate your fear or apprehension of the painful feelings. To train your mind to accept the painful feeling when they come. Just like when the good feeling come, accept them equally the same. So
Eventually
you should just welcome the painful feeling, like when you welcome the good feeling, the pleasant feeling.
Does this correspond to a certain level of mindfulness or samadhi?
Mindfulness and wisdom also. You need to have equanimity to be able to remain undisturbed by the painful feeling. And you have the wisdom to teach your mind to accept the painful feeling because it's unavoidable. You cannot run away from it. It's part of your life.
So that would be in all postures.
Yeah, it can happen anytime. When you get sick, you get painful feeling from your sickness.
Okay.
If you accept it, then there will be no stress or dukkha in your mind. Your mind doesn't have the craving to get rid of the painful feeling.
Did you do this practice, Ajahn?
Oh yeah, you have to go through the painful feeling and use mindfulness and wisdom to deal with it. Not by moving your body. Keep your body the same way and let the pain come and go as it like. But you just teach your mind to be still and not to react to it. That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, not much apart from that. I left for the first time in about 3 and a bit months to go to the doctor. And it was less exciting than I thought it was going to be going out into the world.
Well, if you have mindfulness and wisdom, you can remain undisturbed by what you see or hear. Just treat everything like you treat the Vedana.
I see.
They can give you good feeling, and sometimes they can give you unpleasant feeling from what you see or what you hear. So you should not react to them either way, whether they're pleasant or unpleasant. You're just merely accepting or knowing.
Yeah. It's funny because I stuck in the doctor's surgery for 4 hours and I have to listen to music. And the first hour I was like, oh wow, this is really good. I haven't listened to music in 3 months. And then it just becomes like torture.
The music caused the torture or the disappearance of the music.
No, just having to listen to loud music in the doctor's surgery waiting room.
You should neither react with like or dislike. Just accept it like the sound of thunder or lightning.
Yeah. It got me thinking about karma, because I'm in the waiting room with these 5 or 6 people, and I think if there's like 6 billion people on Earth, why am I here with these people?
Well, we all have to be there one day when we all get old and get sick, and we all have to go see a doctor sooner or later.
It's funny, another realization I had watching these two men in the doctor's surgery, and they're having a conversation, and I start contemplating. It's like the vocal cords vibrate in the throat, and the sound comes out, and then it goes into the other person's ear, and the hairs vibrate, and it goes down into the ayatna, into the chitta. Then the sanya comes up, and then you either dislike or neutral, and then you respond. But I was thinking, who's to say if Ajahn says blue, that the color blue that I see is the same? So really, we're just exchanging these kind of empty symbols and concepts. And I just watched them talk for half an hour, and it's like being in a dream. They're just exchanging emptiness.
Yes, our life is a dream, really. Everything is not real. We are not real. Our body is not real. One day it will disappear from the surface of the earth. We are all like bubbles. No substance, nothing lasting in our body or, except in our mind. But nothing remain in the body.
My last question, Ajahn. There's Wat Papong Kruba Ajahn visiting at the moment, Luangpur Piak, and in a few weeks, Ajahn Dun will be here. And maybe like 6 hours from my house, which sounds like a long way, but in Australia, this isn't very far. And part of me gets really excited and wanted to go. And then another part of me is just like, no, just stay home and practice. You get much more benefit than going to offer dana.
Yes, the benefit from meditation is better than the benefit from dana.
Okay. Thanks, Ajahn.
Where are they coming to? Perth or Sydney?
So Luangpur Piak is at Wat Kantipalo at the moment, at Wat Buddha Dhamma.
Wat Buddha Dhamma in Sydney.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Ajahn Dun, someone just offered him some land a few hours north of Sydney, and he's going to visit there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you want to see him and maybe listening to his Dhamma talk, that's also beneficial.
Okay. I'll think about it because it's still a couple of weeks away.
Yeah. But if you just want to do dana, then maybe it's better to stay and meditate instead. But if you need something from him, like wisdom, his wisdom to guide your practice, then maybe that can be considered beneficial than doing dana or doing meditation on your own.
Okay. I'll pitch Aranak up.
Okay. All right. Happy practice. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Ajahn.
Next, Mandy Smith.
Hello, Ajahn. Thank you for
How you
teaching.
doing?
I'm doing okay. It's been a little bit of a struggle like the others, with different things coming up. In the last few weeks after I was sick, I also had, started giving away my jewelry, really expensive things, and gave them to family members. And it made sense as to why, and it felt great. And then my mother would end up saying, "Oh, Mandy, you probably should hold on to that, and you shouldn't give them away. Not just yet. You don't know that you might need this." And I said, "Oh, but I don't need it. I don't want others around me to feel this way or that way. I have no attachment to holding on to these things for some sort of self-benefit. Give them to my sister, her children, give them away." And so there's pushback from family. but I see the truth. But it's still the defilement comes up, like the occasional thought of, well, are you sure that wasn't right? Because of things that others are saying. And I realize that's part of practicing this is recognizing that it's about knowing my personal truth, what these values are and why, and following that. And anytime I think about, oh, I had the opportunity to give it to them, as opposed to somebody coming and taking it, and well, I guess that would be the same result as somebody benefited somehow. So that was one of the thoughts I had, and I guess that the defilements, like you were saying, are just going to continue to try to convince with that popular thought that it's not smart in this society to give away riches, but to hold on to them. And then I also was reflecting on people wanting to talk with me, and oftentimes when I'd be talking with them, they would bring up problems and cycle about it. But I feel like, oh, that's some type of Dhamma, by listening or by being able to hear them and tell them it's going to be okay. But on the opposite, it's disrupting and it can affect later on, maybe I should worry about that too. And then coming back to, no, that's not true. That's not true. And I guess I struggle with the liking or disliking of those feelings. I'm just so grateful for the teachings and for everybody else sharing, because it adds to a lot of my own self-reflection a lot. Thank you.
Yes, I think if you can see everything in terms of the three characteristics, then there will be no attachment to anything. But sometimes we forget. We still think that things we have will stay with us all the time. But in fact, nothing remains with us. Sooner or later, we're going to have to lose everything. So it's better be willing to lose it now than be forced to lose it later. Especially when you don't need them.
Yes.
You'll find there's a word saying that goes, the joy of giving. When you give willingly, you feel happy, you feel joyful. You keep it, you don't get any joy, you get worry and anxiety. How are you going to protect this piece of jewelry from being stolen, or keep it safe? So it's better to have nothing if that's possible. Only have what you really need, and what you don't need, give it away. If you want to eliminate stress, anxiety, and worry.
Am I giving the people that I feel like I am giving it and it is making them happy, but I know that what you just said, is that not burdening them with further attachments?
Well, give it to somebody who needs them. They can use them, like they can sell it and buy food or buy clothing or something useful. Not giving to somebody just for the matter of keeping it. And
that makes sense.
You want to give it in a practical way, useful way. If you don't need it, then give someone who needs it, who can use it. But don't give to somebody who already had enough. They don't need it anyway.
Yeah.
Unless you want to make them happy. and maybe you don't even know if they're happy or not. If they have already what they need, giving them something else, they might feel the same way like you do, giving them the burden.
Yeah.
But then they'll give it away also. If they know it's a burden, then they won't keep it. So don't worry. Once you give away, don't worry about whether you're doing bad or the act of giving is good. As long as you give to the people who need them, who can use them, who can benefit from them.
Yeah, that makes sense. I came across a question, and it was about females, and I know it's a topic that maybe it's not supposed to be spoken about. I'm not sure, and I tried to not sound like it's some type of challenging question or disrespectful. And I realized that it's nuanced by a lot of political or regal aspects. But I have been very curious why females are not, I guess, recognized as the same in Thailand, or I think Burma. And I see that things are changing. Like there are bhikkhuni and venerables, and being very strict and good at their practice. And you can feel that too. How come it isn't seen the same way some places for females?
I guess it's the perception of people toward females, I guess. And the
Okay.
tradition that has been followed for many years. So it's just been transferred from one generation to the next.
Yeah. So it shouldn't limit then the females practicing. They should continue to go forth anyways. Or is that too troublesome to
Well, you
to
can
the
go
world?
forth without having to rely on a bhikkhuni sangha. When the Buddha went forth, he didn't rely on the Buddha on any sangha to become to practice and become enlightened. See, when the Buddha left his palace, he just ordained himself and just lived just like a monk, but without any sangha around him to support him.
It's not.
See, but once you have a sangha, there are rules that are conditions set up by the Buddha. That in order for a female to have female ordination, they need the sangha of the male and the female sangha to do it. See, but the sangha of the female had disappeared 1,000 years after the Buddha died. So there are no sangha, female sangha to ordain a female. See? That's the reason why we cannot ordain any female as a bhikkhuni. So there are rules and conditions to establish a sangha. For male, in order for us to ordain, we need to have a male sangha to ordain us with. For some reason there's no more male sangha, then we cannot ordain as a bhikkhu either. But we can still practice, we can still meditate, we can still keep the precept, we can meditate, and we can still become enlightened. And once you become enlightened, people will then respect you, and then they will follow you, and you can establish a new sangha yourself.
So that's what's happening.
That's right. See, the Buddha, when he ordained, he didn't have a Sangha to support him. But once he became enlightened, people follow him, and then he established a Sangha after that by having followers. So, if, for instance, if you want to ordain as a bhikkhuni, you can ordain, but you just don't call yourself a bhikkhuni. That's all. You just exist on your own and do your own practice. And when you became enlightened and people study from you and find that you are useful to them, they'll start to follow you. Then you have a following, and then you can establish a new Sangha.
I see. So the root would be to
become enlightened.
Yes.
And then you can establish a new Sangha yourself.
The ultimate way, would you say, it would be to be then just walking the world and doing your practice.
That's right. Practice the Noble Eightfold Path yourself and become enlightened. Once you become enlightened, and when you talk to people about it, people can appreciate your teaching, then they can follow you. And then they might ask for ordination from you. Like all the other monks who asked ordination from the Buddha. After they listened to his Dhamma talk and they became enlightened, then they asked permission from the Buddha to ordain them to be part of his Sangha.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So if you study the Buddhist history of Buddhism, you'll find that the Buddha became enlightened first, and then he spread his teaching to other people, and other people, after listening and become enlightened, then they seek for joining his company by following, by establishing a Sangha for them.
So by following somebody or others it wouldn't be a negative thing, but you would have to also battle being attached to the group.
No, if you become enlightened, you're not attached to anything. You just exist in a group, because you can become more maybe productive by being in a group, in spreading the teaching to other people.
I see. That makes sense. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
So by being a woman, you're not prohibited or prevented from practicing the Noble Eightfold Path. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And if you could practice the Noble Eightfold Path, you can become enlightened. Once you are enlightened, it doesn't matter whether you are called Bhikkhuni or Mechi or whatever. These are all just, they are like icing on the cake. Not important. The important is to become enlightened and to be free from the suffering. Even the Buddha practiced when he left the palace and followed the spiritual path. His goal wasn't to establish a Sangha at all. His goal was to release him from suffering, from dukkha. But once he became enlightened and he spread his teaching to other people, people appreciate it and wants to follow him and look up to him as their teacher. So you have a group of following. So it's like having a school, a student, a teacher. So Buddhism is really a school. The Buddha is the first teacher, and the other noble disciples are the following teachers that help spread the teaching of the Buddha to other students who hasn't yet been enlightened, who hasn't yet get enlightened, to become enlightened. And eventually the mother of the Buddha, the stepmother who raised him, asked for female ordination. And at first the Buddha hesitated, but eventually he gave in and allowed women ordination. But he set up several conditions for women to ordain. And if they accept the condition, then they could ordain. See, So they have a female Sangha after that. But the female Sangha didn't last for, I think they lasted for about 1,000 years. And after that, no more female were interested to ordain. So the female Sangha disappeared. Once it disappeared, you cannot reestablish it according to the condition laid down by the Buddha.
But so there is enlightened people, enlightened
They're still
monks.
enlightened female, but they're in a different form. Instead of being bhikkhuni, they're just maybe like white robers, keeping their precept, but they can still practice the noble eightfold path and become enlightened. But there's no more community of female monks around. And eventually, the male community one day will also disappear when people are not interested in becoming a monk. And eventually, there will be no more monks left in the world. Then once there's no male community, no male Sangha, then you cannot ordain anybody to become a bhikkhu again. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. But you can still become enlightened. You can still become a Sotapanna and an Arahant without becoming a bhikkhuni. Okay.
Yes.
Next, we'll go to Aparajita. You move into your new place?
Yes, good evening, Prajan. I did. I mean, I
Yeah.
spoke about it on last Tuesday, and I
Mhm.
wasn't even sure. And on Thursday, everything came through, and here I am.
Looks very sparse, very nothing.
Yes, it's indeed a blessing, and I'm very happy. And sometimes you can be a very positive person, and then you think, maybe I should look at the asubha aspect of a relationship, just not because it's not good, but just to see it more as both sides. And so I find this very wholesome. That's it.
Yes, if you want to develop spiritually, then you need to be alone.
Yes.
If you are close to other people, you can get sensual cravings, and then this can become a hindrance to your spiritual practice.
Yes, I realize that.
You cannot have both. You cannot
No.
have both sensual pleasures and spiritual pleasure. You have to have one or the other.
Yes, I think when the Buddha said that, I would say some part of me used to think, oh, but no, I can still practice. But I think I realized he never said something for no reason. So that's all.
Okay, good. Enjoy your new place.
Thank you.
Now you
Thank
can
you.
do more meditation now with no disturbance.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for your blessings. Ajahn.
Okay, you're
Thank you.
welcome. Next, Marco from the Netherlands. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Tanajan. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Here to pay my respects and to report on my homework if it's okay.
Sure, go ahead.
Meditation's been going okay. Walking meditation been going well. My meditation's been going okay because I had let's say a conflict at work which affected me. I have a question actually based on that. So I know that work is interfering with my meditation already anyway. And in that situation, I try to be outside myself, and I realized that the character of the person that I had a conflict with really doesn't match my own. And I would like to ask if you have suggestions on how I can best treat myself. I'm trying to put myself to the side and not look at my, how do you say, my best interest, but looking at the company's best interest. But I think by doing that, I'm actually making things worse.
Well, I think the main goal is to make your mind calm. And in order to make your mind calm, you have to be a loser.
Yeah,
Let your opponent be the winner.
that's a good one. So, and what's holding me back in that one is that
Your own ego. You want to win. And
yes, absolutely.
And that's the cause of your stress. If you give up and say, okay, you win, then everything's finished. Yeah.
Well, that's the nuance that I give to it. So I try to take the approach indeed, like, okay, it doesn't matter to me, but I think that hidden deep inside there's Kilesa that are saying, well, you are now embodying the company, right? So it's the company that actually needs to win, right? So this is where it gets convoluted, because I think that deep inside it's not that, and the reason why is because I'm realizing that my deeper feelings, there's some envy in there, I think, and I think that that's the key. So if I observe that envy, then I know I have to be, like you said, indeed the loser in the situation, because that will give me peace of mind. And this is what I think that work is doing to me now. Is I'm way more calm than I used to be. I'm noticing the benefit of the meditation, but I really feel it's a struggle at sometimes. And I know there's going to be a point sooner or later where it's going to be, I have to choose. Otherwise, it's not gonna be beneficial anymore. Which leads me to the next question that I have actually. So I was reading the Kamatana book from Langtam Mabua about the pain during the meditation, and I would like to ask if Thanajan would be willing to share his experience with having the pain of sitting down, and explaining if he had the similar experience to what Langta was saying about that it comes in three, I think, but there's different moments, and that each of the moment when the pain really comes, when your body feels about to burst, that there's first mild in comparison to the last one. And did you also go through those stages? Is that like set stages, or?
No, my experiences is not the same with his. I only just go through the first stages. And once I know how to deal with it, then I just stop. I then push myself to go to the second or third stage.
Okay, and if I may ask, what was the reason to stop? Because it was just unbearable, or it didn't feel like it was beneficial?
It just doesn't make any, it doesn't matter. Once you know how to deal with one, you can deal with the other.
Ah, okay. So I have the
Once
feeling that
you know how to change a tire, you can change 4 tires.
That's a good one. Yes, absolutely. Now, for me, what I notice is that I try to exert myself in a way, because I have a feeling that I have a lazy tendency that I really want to get rid of. And I'm like, okay, so if I start doing this, if I start sitting and I notice that pain, it doesn't really matter. Like you said, I mean, it's just like the first time you change the tire, you know how to change the tire. I think that that's the key then. I don't know how to deal with the pain. I think that's the key of the issue. I don't know how to process that. I think I start thinking too much when that happens, because it doesn't. When I start feeling my legs and I try to go back to the breathing, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It means your mindfulness is not strong enough yet, not continuous. So you have to develop more mindfulness to deal with the pain.
Okay.
Before you can use wisdom to deal with the pain eventually.
Okay.
There's 2 levels of dealing with the pain. First level is to use mindfulness. When when your body becomes painful, you just recite the mantra Bhutto, 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 until your mind becomes calm, and then you can accept the pain. And then the next time is to teach your mind the reason why you have to accept the pain, because you cannot force the pain to go away sometimes. So you have to learn to live with it. And the way to live with it is just to accept it. Using equanimity from samadhi. If you have equanimity, then you don't react to the pain. And when you don't react, then there's no stress in the mind from reacting to the pain.
And at that point, then you only observe the pain, and it's not really apparent as a feeling anymore.
It is a feeling, but you're just not reacting to it. You know that by reacting with aversion or hate or fear, you're causing stress unnecessarily to your mind.
Okay.
The goal is to get rid of the stress, not to get rid of the pain. The pain you cannot get rid of. Sometimes you can, sometimes you cannot.
Yeah, I think that what I'm looking for, or maybe subconsciously, is that whenever I hear about Pacharaman, about the tigers in the forest, and the tradition of being afraid, of really having the fear of death, I think I'm trying to relate that to the pain, because it's explained in such a way that it feels like you're really dying. That's why I think that on one hand I want to test that, because I don't think there's another way for me to find that fear of death, because if I think about it, it's not there, because then it's rationality, but that's not the truth. The truth is that I haven't been in that situation, so I don't know what it would happen if I do feel that fear for real. So I'm trying to create a means, or come up with a way to demonstrate it for myself. And it's difficult because it's never the real thing. So I'm thinking like, okay, if the pain is that bad, and I won't die of it, right? So that can't I test that? Would that be a good approach, or would that be
Well,
making too much stress?
you have to expose your body to some form of danger
Mm,
to see how do you react to that danger.
yeah.
If you can just remain calm and not reacting, then it's okay. It means you're not fearful of it. But you're reacting with fear, then it means you're still attached to your body.
Yeah. So I'm indirectly looking for something that I haven't found yet, which I can't really force to find because it's not the real thing.
Maybe you might go in your life one day, you might run into some form of accident, like car crash or something, and see how you react to that situation.
I'm not going to test that, but yes, that's a good
But I mean, I know, but sometimes you're forced to, not because you wanted to.
True.
So maybe you should imagine this thing first beforehand, so you can at least prepare yourself when the real situation happens. See how
Yeah.
you would react.
Yeah. That's the key. That's the key, I
Or
think.
sometimes you might have some home invasion. Somebody came in and tried to rob your house, and see how you react to the situation.
Yeah, that one actually I've thought about already. It's like, what would I do if that happens? And I was like, oh, just take everything. Just take away all my possessions. I don't need it anyway. Like, it doesn't even fear. But then again, that's not really somebody trying to kill me, I guess, because that's the different aspect of it. Yeah, it's an interesting angle to look at. Okay, thank you. Another question that I had on the feeling that I've been having more, and it's something that I've observed also during the conflict that I had, is that I'm kind of sensing a deeper feeling of what the mind's like with the other person. But it's not like I can see the mind, but it's like you feel the worry, or the anxiety, or the anger of the other person. Is that something that you've experienced as well in your practice, that you see developing by the practice itself? It feels like I'm more susceptible to it, because in the past I would never realize anything like that.
Yes, you can relate to other people's mental activities through your own mental activities. So when you see people react in certain ways, you know that that person is being fearful or stressful or worried. But
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. It's not important. What's important is you should know your own stress and know your own worry and how to deal with them.
Yeah. And that's also a way that the mind actually goes out, as opposed to going inside, right? So that you don't really pull it to yourself anymore. That's what I was realizing as well. So I was observing in the conflict more what the other person was feeling like, and by that completely forgetting how I was feeling. Like, I was observing it after more. It was not in the moment, I think. So I tried to go back to that moment and then see, yeah, I saw this and that, but that was not here. It was not inside. So yeah, okay. It has to go more introvert, right? I look at the own feeling first, and not sending the mind out.
Right. But if you should see the other people's feeling, just note it, that's all. And just know it for what it is. But you cannot change them.
No.
They have to change themselves.
Yeah. And then
you can know when people get angry, you can tell right away he's angry.
That's the easy one. That's the
Yeah.
easy one.
But what can you do? Can you stop that anger?
No.
Okay.
Actually, that was a very good one. Yeah. How
So
can you can't?
it's more important to look at yourself. Are you angry or not when you see that person angry? If you're angry, then you should stop your anger, not the other person's
Then
anger.
I know I have the problem then, right? That's my
Yeah.
issue then. I picked it up. It's my problem now.
You
Yeah, that's true.
look at the wrong target. Your target is your own mind that you have to look at.
Yeah, and is that then somehow the ego that doesn't want to accept that I'm upset? So I remember that so often in the past, somebody would ask me, "Are you angry?" I'm like, "No, I'm not angry." But it's like,
Mhm.
well, yes,
Yes.
you are. I mean,
Yeah.
it's when you get upset to admit that you're angry, which is really ridiculous if you think about it. So it's interesting how the feeling gets so big inside, but you project it to the outside. So it's very interesting to see all your interactions with other people and how it happens, and that actually it shows you more about yourself than anybody else. But I think it's very difficult to kind of accept what you're seeing. And I think in the past, for me specifically, I did not like what I saw. So I knew that I had to change.
Yeah, you have to look more inward, look at your mind more than other people's mind.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And thank you,
Okay.
Ajahn. Yeah.
All right. Next step, Morgan. How's the weather?
Good. It's beautiful.
Hmm.
No more worrying about the wind.
How's the mind? How's the weather inside?
Very good. I've increased my meditation. I wasn't purifying the mind enough. So I meditate at least an hour a day now. I was just doing a half hour. Now I'm up to an hour. And my mindfulness, it's been really good. Is it okay if I tell Mandy some ayahs? Is that okay real quick?
Sure, go ahead, please.
I just wanted to tell Mandy about Ayah Santa Sita, Ayah Santusika. They're both in California. And
Santa Cruz? Is it in Santa Cruz?
Yeah. And then Ayah Ananda Bodhi is in Wisconsin. And then Ayah Dhamma Dipa is in Virginia. So there are ayahs for her to go find. I had a big problem with authority in Buddhism as a female, and I had to work with that. So it was, yes, just there are females that are in the tradition, and it makes me very happy.
Yes, thank you.
That's all.
Did you get the message, Mandy? Okay.
She got it? Okay, good.
Okay, good.
Yes, thank you. I also saw Van Chenda in England, and she holds regular meetings as well. And so the clarification of it was kind of fuzzy before, but I understand. Thank you.
Maybe in the future the community will grow bigger and bigger. But you have to start from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Next, Mahesh. You're also from California, Mahesh.
Good evening, Tanajan. Yes, I'm from California. Yeah. So I have a couple of questions. So first thing is, I noticed as I increase my practice and all, I noticed I'm starting to behave in a little bit weird way in some relations. One is with my cousin and also with my wife. Yesterday it happened. There's certain arguments or issues that happen where where I felt I was reacting more than necessary, or I was reacting in a way that not natural for me, or not in a slightly more disturbed manner. For example, with my cousin, I was wanting him to respect me, and there was this feeling of that he's not respecting me kind of feeling in my interactions with him, and that was not true. It was all my imagination, and that this happened last week. I didn't know why I was wanting respect from him. And that was odd, not the usual way that I interact with him. And then later on yesterday, like 2 days back with my wife, also I was bringing up issues that I have with her, and I was listing them, and I was saying I'm not feeling loud and all of this stuff to her. And that argument was going on, or that conversation was going on, and I was feeling, oh, I'm behaving in an odd way. I'm getting this, but then I couldn't stop myself. It was just going on, and then and these things were disturbing. And I mean, on the next day also, they were bothering me, and I couldn't go to Buddha, or I couldn't. I want to think about these things. I didn't want to go to Buddha or practice. I did my meditation, but then the mindfulness and all these things were in my mind more. Yeah, both of those things felt odd in the way I reacted. These were with my wife. I mean, I had these things, but then I was able to like be at peace with them. They're not a big issue earlier, but then I was surprised to see how it became an issue and all. Any insights into what would be happening?
And how to deal? You mean how to deal with this situation when it happens?
Yeah, or yeah, in anything that you want to say on this.
Well, if you know that you're gonna get heated up, then you should just retreat yourself, go someplace, go away from the person that you're dealing with. If you cannot stop yourself, then try to distance yourself from the person. If you can use loving kindness, then use loving kindness. Be kind and be loving and be forgiving to the person that you're dealing with.
Yeah, at that time, those were the solutions that it felt like, okay, bringing metta up, both with my cousin and with my wife, and staying away from them. But then I couldn't implement them. Like I don't know, but I don't know why this suddenly happened. These kinds of things. I was not reacting like this before. Only after I increased my practice or doing more mindfulness, these are happening. I'm not sure if this is.
I don't think so. If you have real mindfulness, then this reaction will be less, not more.
Right. What I meant was like after I was increasing my practice, like I was doing more meditation during the day, like 4 or 5 times.
Your mind should be calmer. It's not as restless, not more restless, but should be more calm. So maybe you're not really practicing mindfulness in the right way. If you have mindfulness, then you should be able to control your defilements when they come up. So when you have this situation, it means you don't have any more mindfulness. You let your defilement take over.
Yeah, defilements took over, right? This also happened to me on a retreat when I was on a retreat, like doing a lot of meditation and all. I noticed that I get easily triggered. I don't know why that happens though.
Well, anytime you can lose your mindfulness, it doesn't mean that you've been practicing mindfulness for 3 hours and then you will continue to have the same mindfulness. Anytime that mindfulness can disappear and then you become not mindful again, suddenly. So you have to be vigilant with your mindfulness. You have to be constantly guarding your mind with mindfulness all the time. Sometimes you take things for granted. You say, "Oh, I have mindfulness for 3 hours. I should continue to have mindfulness." And so when you're not guarding your mind, then you can start losing your mindfulness right away. So I think it's a matter of losing your mindfulness when these things happen to you, when you have this anger or this greed or whatever defilement. I mean that at that moment you're no longer guarding your mind, watching your mind. You let your defilement doing the action.
Okay.
So be constantly mindful, not just when you're alone. You should be even more mindful when you're dealing with other people.
Okay. And my my second question is, in some of the meditations, I notice a lot of drowsiness. It's not like I'm going to sleep, but then dullness, drowsiness kind of things. And I don't know where my mind went for a long time. So how to deal with this dullness or drowsiness during the meditation?
If you want to practice more successfully, you need to keep the 8 precepts, or at least abstain from eating after midday. Reduce your food consumption. When the Buddha say you need to do moderation in food consumption. Don't eat too much.
Okay. And in those sittings, if I realize that after some time I realize the mind is racing too much, or I'm not able to be mindful, is it better to still continue and finish all that sitting even though the mind is not there, or is it better to do something else, get up and do something else, or change something during the meditation?
If you can continue, then you should try. But if you can no longer continue, then you just have to give up for now. And maybe hope to do it better next time.
When I say continue, I can continue to sit, but the mindfulness is not there. The mind is...
You have to start reciting Bhutto, or do some chanting.
Okay.
Don't sit there without doing any mindfulness, because you won't be able to sit for long anyway.
Right. I'm trying to go on to the breath, and then mind is gone for long.
Try chanting, reciting something longer.
Okay. So just open my eyes and then start chanting.
And then you can,
right.
You can close your eye and chant. You don't have to open your eyes.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Next, Samanji from Sri Lanka. Any question tonight?
Hello, Ajahn. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
I have 2 questions today.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Ajahn, among Dana, Sila and Bhavana, I just want to know, is Dana the best practice for attaining a better rebirth?
Well, all 3 will give you a better rebirth, different level of rebirth. Dana will get you to the heavenly realm of the devas. Keeping the precept will prevent you from going down to the lower realms of existence. If you can keep the 5 precepts, then you won't be reborn as an animal or as a hungry ghost or go to hell. But if you do charity, dana, you go to the realm of the devas. But if you meditate, then you go to the realm of the Brahma and the realm of the noble disciple. So they give you different results.
And like I just heard you talking about money, like and the use of money among Buddhists, and I sometimes feel that having wealth allows us to do more good deeds, such as building temples and offering dana to the Sangha. And even in the Buddha's time, wealthy kings and emperors spent large sums to build monasteries like Jetavana for the Buddha. Doesn't this mean that having money and using it for good is beneficial? For us to get a better, maybe, that it's beneficial?
Building monastery and temples.
Yeah, I mean, even in the Buddha's time, wealthy kings and emperors, they spent large sums of money to build monasteries such as Jetavana for the Buddha. What I want to know is like having money, like when we are wealthy and when we have lot of money, like we can make use of this money to build temples and offering dana to the Sangha. I just gave for an example only. I said even during the Buddha's time, wealthy kings did the same. I just want to know, doesn't this mean that having money and using it for good is beneficial?
Yes, what about it? You can use it for any benefit if you like. You can choose. If you don't like to build temples, if you want to give it to the poor people, you can do that also. But you can also see the benefit that they will produce themselves. If you build a temple, then you're providing a place for people to go practice and study Dhamma. But if you give money to poor people, you only help them to,
Okay.
but they won't do any benefit for other people.
So Thanajan, having money is good, no? If we are making use of money for some good work, so it's not bad to have a lot of money with us.
It's not bad to have lots of money if you make money honestly, not from cheating or by hurting other people and to make the money. If you just happen to be lucky and sell a lot of stuff and you have lots of money, it's not wrong to have money, but it can be harmful to you, to yourself, because you might be attached to the money. And by being attached to it, then it can cause you anxiety, worry, or fear. But if you have wisdom, you say money is a temporary thing. It's anicca, dukkha, anatta. Then you then want just to keep enough for yourself. Then the surplus, then you want to give it to other people.
Okay, Thanajan, thank you. My next question is, to become a Sotapanna, as I know, we firstly give up our attachment to body. Am I correct?
Yes.
Then, yeah. Then could you explain one by one, if you have the time, what we should give up like on a gradual basis, starting from our body, maybe attachment to our body?
Well, before you can give up your attachment to your body, you have to give up your external possession first. Like your money, your status, your work, everything, and so that you can become a monk, become a homeless, having no possession. Then it will be easy for you to give up your body next.
Thanajan, giving up our body means like attachment to it. But does
That's right.
that we still have to feed it, and like we have to take medicine when it gets sick? All these
Yes.
things we have to do, but without getting attached to it.
Excuse me. Yes, you still have to look after your body, but in a detached way. If you can feed it, feed it. If you cannot feed it, then just have to leave it. Let it go hungry, for instance. But you won't go break the precepts to steal some food to eat. Because by stealing, you're committing bad karma and it can be harmful to your mind. So you don't want to do any bad karma in order to protect or look after your body.
Okay, Thanajan. That's all I have for today, Thanajan. Nice talking to you.
Okay,
Wish you
thank
good
you.
health.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next, B. Ravin from Bangkok.
Good evening, Ajahn. I hope you're well.
Yes. And you? Okay.
I'm fine, thank you. Ajahn, before I start, I just want to reach out very quickly to Sui and check, understand they're in Bangkok. So just in case if you need any suggestions on, restaurants or travel or anything, just feel free to reach out to me. That's all I wanted to say. Yeah.
All right. I'm not sure if they're listening or not. They turn off the video.
Oh, okay.
Okay, anyways.
Yep. Anyways, yep. So, Ajahn, based on your discussion today, mentioned a lot about our defilements being very strong. May I ask, what causes the defilements to be strong? Is it ignorance, or is it greed, or is it just not having enough strength of meditation to kill them?
Not having resistance to them, I guess, it makes them become strong and stronger. But if you start to resist them, then they can start to become weaker and weaker. So try not to assist them. You should try to resist them instead.
Because I notice, sometimes when I wake up and I try to develop mindfulness, I realize it's not easy to do, even when I'm able to achieve it, but it's so easy to lose it. So it seems as if the defilements are very good at distracting us, but when we want to get rid of them, it requires a lot of effort.
That's right, because we hardly try to resist them. It's only now in this lifetime that we come across the Buddha's teaching that we understand that we should resist our defilement. So we're just beginning to resist them, but long before that, we've been supporting them, following them. So they're very strong. They're like the what you call the heavyweight champion. We're just beginning boxer, so it's gonna take a while before we can really fight our defilement. But if we keep resisting them at every turn, then we'll become stronger, and the defilement will become weaker and weaker eventually.
So the tools to get rid of the defilements is dana, because it reduces our greed, sila, because it has our morality, and samadhi, because it
We can stop
strengthens our mind.
we can stop the defilement when we meditate. When the mind becomes still, then the defilement cannot do anything. And with wisdom, we can eliminate the defilement, because wisdom will tell us that the defilement is bad for us, not good for us. And the objects of the defilement are also not good for us, because they are anicca, dukkha, anatta. So these three practices, dana, sila, and bhavana, are designed for the elimination of the defilement from the mind, purify the mind.
So dana is just reducing greed, so we don't hold on to our attachments, to our belongings.
Don't use and don't use the money for sensual pleasure, which is using it for the defilement.
And then sila is to
stop your greed or anger. Sometimes you're so greedy, you might break the precept just to get what you want. Or sometimes you're angry at someone, you can break the precept, hurting other people. So it's all designed to get rid of the defilement in various ways. Sila deal with the body action and the speech action. Why dana deal with the possession that you have? And meditation is to stop it inside the mind from functioning.
So we need all these together to have
Yes,
an
unless
effective result.
if you don't have any more money, then you don't have to worry about dana anymore, because you have nothing to give. Like monks when they become a then they give up all the possession. They don't have any money, so monks don't have to do any dana, unless if they have some money from people who wants to give them, then they should also give up this money, because money is not good for the mind. It's good for the defilement, but not good for the mind.
Yes. Because Prajan, I was just taking a step back and trying to understand like the root cause of where all these defilements are coming from. So I think from what you explained, I can start to see, that they exist in all sorts of forms, and we need to use these tools, to get rid of them all the time, not just during meditation, but all the time. So
Well, the root cause of the defilements is the delusion. And the delusion is to think that you can find happiness from being born and live in this world and seek happiness from sensual pleasures. This is delusion, see, because sensual pleasure is harmful and not beneficial to the mind, because they are like addiction. Once you become addicted to sensual pleasure, you have to keep feeding the mind with sensual pleasures. And whenever you cannot do it, then your mind will become afflicted with sadness, loneliness, and stress, or depression, or dukkha. So when you have the delusion that sensual pleasure is good for you, then you have greed for sensual pleasure. Then you have greed for money because you need the money to buy the sensual pleasures for you. So you work hard to make more money so that you can spend on sensual pleasures. And the more you spend, the more you need to work more for more money. And then you can break the precept. If you have to make money easily and quickly, then you might have to cheat or lie or steal or even kill. So the root cause is the delusion to think that going after sensual pleasure is good for you, it's bad for you. Okay.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I just remembered a quote, Prajan, I think you once told me sometime last year that the moment you are born, dukkha is already present. You know, like when a baby is born, the baby cries, the baby doesn't smile or laugh. So, and then
The baby wants something. They want to see, want to hear something. So you buy toys for the baby to keep the baby happy.
Yeah, I just realized, like dukkha is everywhere, but we tend to turn a blind eye towards it. So,
Dukkha is in the mind, and it goes up, and it causes you to have dukkha because you keep craving for something all the time. And when you cannot get something, then you become unhappy. Okay.
yes. Thank you, Prajan.
You're welcome. Lynn from Indonesia.
Good evening, Ajahn. How are you today?
Fine, thank you. And you?
I'm very good, thank you. I just have one question tonight. So does one need to be at least a sotapanna before they can truly understand the Four Noble Truths and the three characteristics of life?
Yes, by understanding truly, you become a sotapanna, not the other way around. Someone who can see the Four Noble Truths in real time and treat the characteristic of existence in real time, can become a sotapanna. Not becoming a sotapanna in order to see the three characteristics of existence of the Four Noble Truths. It's the other way around. If you can see the Four Noble Truths and the three characteristics of existence, then you can become a sotapanna. Like if you get sick right now and the doctor says you're gonna die in 2 days, 3 days, what would happen? You feel stressful, right? You have dukkha if you're attached to your body. But if you can see that the stress is come from your desire not to die, and you know that the nature of the body is anicca, dukkha, anatta, you cannot stop it from dying. So you accept that, then the dukkha, the craving for living will disappear. Then your mind become peaceful, the stress disappear, the dukkha disappear. Then you see the Four Noble Truths and the three characteristics in real time. Yeah. Then you become a sotapanna because you're willing to give up your body because you don't want to have any dukkha. By accepting the nature of the body being anicca, dukkha, anatta.
So in order to be able to see that, we need to have the jhana first.
You need the jhana to support your wisdom, but you need to have the dukkha, the suffering in real time, not dukkha that we're talking about now. This is not real. But when you get cancer and the doctor say no way to treat you anymore, then that's real dukkha that you have to deal with.
So we need dukkha to get enlightened.
You need dukkha to stimulate your wisdom. See? When you get dukkha, then you know you have to investigate what is the cause of my dukkha. The cause of my dukkha is my craving or my desire to live, not to die. But then you look at the nature of the body. Can you stop the body from not dying? You cannot. So you have to eventually accept that the body is anicca, it's going to die anyway, whether you like it or not. And if you resist by having craving, the desire to live, then you're creating dukkha in your mind. If you don't want any dukkha in your mind, then you don't want to have the desire to live or not to die. When you don't have this desire, then the dukkha disappears. And the mind is free from dukkha, from attachment to the body. But it doesn't stop the body from dying anyway. The body still dies. But the mind doesn't have any dukkha with the death of the body. So you need something, some really life-threatening situation to trigger your wisdom into action, your wisdom and your equanimity to deal with the stress that arises from this life-threatening situation.
So we need stimulus.
When you have when you think you're ready to take the final examination, then you go look for a stimulus. Like monks in Thailand used to go into the forest where they might face the tigers or some wild animals to trigger their fear of death. And they have to use wisdom to teach them to let go of the attachment to the body, because the body is going to die anyway, sooner or later.
If life is so much dukkha, so where can we find the joy of living?
Well, people try to forget about the dukkha, and they like to replace them with joy, see, by going after sensual pleasures all the time. But eventually, sooner or later, the body will not be able to support this pursuit of sensual pleasure. And that's when suffering will happen. And then people run away by killing the body instead. But that's not the way to solve the problem, because if you haven't get rid of your sensual pleasures, craving, then you'll come back and reborn again and face the same problem again and again. So you have to stop your sensual pleasures, craving. If you don't have any sensual pleasure craving, then you can give up your body, because you don't need the body. You need the body only because you crave for sensual pleasure. But if you don't have craving for sensual pleasures, then you don't need to have a body. When you don't need to have a body, then it's easy for you to let go of your attachment to the body.
So our little step is maybe to keep the 5 precepts and then go on for the 8 precepts. Is that true, Ajahn?
Yes, and practice more meditation. And study the three characteristic nature of the body.
And the key is the mindfulness practice, actually.
First of all, you need mindfulness first to get to jhana. And once you have jhana, then you have to study the three characteristic nature of the body. And the Four Noble Truths. The dukkha that is been triggered by your craving, your desire.
It's easy to say.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it's easy to say but hard to do. So yeah.
So like by theory it's easy talking about it, but by putting yourself into the test, that's the difficult part. But you have to build up your mind to be strong enough to take the test. If you have jhana, then your mind will be strong to be able to take the test, because you can control your mind reaction with jhana. Without jhana, you cannot control the mind reaction, your defilement reaction.
For us like lay people, we don't have a lot of chances to face the fear, or like for the monks in the forest, etc.
Well, you have fear everywhere. You fear of burglar coming into the house. You have fear of fire burning in the house. Yeah. So you can get rid of this fear by practice meditation and wisdom. Once you can accept death, then all this fear will disappear. Because all the fear comes down to the fear of death, right? Eventually. Whether burglar or fire or flood, the worst fear is to lose your life, right?
Yes, that's true.
So once you can let go of your fear of losing your life, then there will be no fear of anything.
Thank you very much, Ajahn. It's always very enlightening.
Yeah, so the goal is to build up strength for your mind first by practice mindfulness and jhana. Then your mind is strong enough to take the test. When you understand the nature of the body as being anicca, anatta. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Next, Sarasi from Geneva, Switzerland. Your sister just came in earlier. She's still around.
Hello, Tanajan. Good evening. Yes, I saw her, Tanajan.
Okay.
Feeling so blessed to see you.
Good to see you too.
I hope you are doing good. I have few questions, Tanajan.
Please go ahead.
My first question is based on Ajahn Mahabua's talk, one of Ajahn Mahabua's talks, where he sheds tears in amazement of Dhamma. In that video, we can see Ajahn Mahabua in tears while explaining his Dhamma achievement. He said tears flowed when he experienced it, and he said, I quote, "Even now my tears are flowing at the recollection of that event. These tears are work of the khandhas," I unquote. Could you explain this, Tanajan? Work of the being an arahant's work of the khandhas a little bit?
He means his tear didn't come from the defilement, like losing someone you love or something like that. But this fear is like a kind of pity, when you have pity, when you are deeply impressed by something, you can have goosebumps or you can shed tears sometimes. This is what he meant. The tear is not from the defilement.
Is it that he pities about other people who are not in the realm of arahants, which they will go in the samsara? Is it something to that effect?
I think something he pitied himself for being so stupid for so long until he became enlightened. And this is the cause for his tears of joy, that he's no longer delusional.
Okay. Yeah. Even can we say that even before his arahantship, he is a kind of a person who is being emotional, and even after gaining the arahantship, that characteristics remains. Can we say something like that also?
I don't think it's important to know that, really. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Okay. And also in the same talk, he mentioned Tanajan, Chitta itself is never born and never dies. What does that mean? That means the knowing factor. Is he referring to the knowing factor? Or
It refers to the pure mind, the purified mind. When there are no longer any defilement left in the mind, then the mind will not take birth anymore.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, Tanajan. And also, I have another question. Actually, it's based on your most valuable book, Inspiring Dhamma, which I got from Professor Kenneth, thanks to his kindness. And also in that one, I want to ask one question, Tanajan. There is one quote that I want your explanation. You have to empty your cup first before you can pour anything else into it. Does it mean that you have to let go of your attachments and desires in order to truly practice Dhamma? Empty your cup means?
Empty your opinion, empty your knowledge, because all your knowledge are all avijja. They are all ignorant. They are all delusional.
Mhm.
Then you should empty your mind, open up your mind, and accept new ideas from the Buddha. Don't let your old knowledge try to resist the teaching of the Buddha.
Okay, I see.
Open up your mind. Actually, it's like emptying your
Open
mind.
up. I see. Okay, Tanajan.
Mm,
It's a very valuable one of your valuables book.
yeah.
All books and very nice Dhamma quotes, inspiring.
Mm,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tanajan.
okay, you're welcome.
I wish you good health.
Thank you. Belinda from Singapore.
Good evening, Ajahn. Wish you good health too. And stay
Okay,
teach us
thank you.
Dhamma.
All right. Wish you happiness too.
Thank you, Ajahn. And
Okay.
true happiness, huh?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Happiness from the practice of dana, sila, and bhavana.
Thank you,
Okay.
Ajahn.
Next, Kokseng from Singapore.
Good evening, Prajan. Prajan, may I check you mentioned that our everything in this world is anicca, dukkha, and anatta. So I'd like to check, Prajan. So in our daily interactions with our family members, so how do we go about interacting with them such that we do not have any dukkha?
Do it with loving kindness, no attachment to them, but treat them nice, make them happy, but be ready to lose them anytime because you don't know what's going to happen to them. Okay, understand? You have to use loving kindness on one hand, and you have to use wisdom on the other hand. Because if you only use loving kindness, you can become attached to them. And then when something happens to them, you can become sad. But if you have wisdom also, that anything can happen to them because they are anicca, dukkha, anatta. So when something happens to them, then you won't feel sad. Okay, you have to use both the Brahma Vihara and wisdom to deal with people, to deal with everything actually, everything in this world. All right.
Okay, thank you, Prajan.
Okay, Ricardo. Hi, Ricardo from Uruguay.
Hi, Ajahn. Nice to see you and nice to talk to you again.
Good
We
to
are
see you too.
in
Very hot for you now. Huh?
holidays too, very hot. Today's very hot, and we have a power shortage, so we cannot turn on the air conditioning. It's, I don't know, 36, I think. It's very sunny.
Does this happen all the time? Lots of time? Power outage?
No, it's unusual.
Unusual.
Sunny.
Okay.
Yeah, luckily. But we are on holidays here too, Carnival. And as Alfredo told you, most of the people go to dancing and all that.
Yes.
But we as Buddhists, we don't go.
You go to meditation.
We stay here, yes. And again, I shortly would like to reflect or make a reflection. I was thinking right now, thank you for all your wonderful teachings. And I was thinking, all this samsara, we came here to this world. We will be reborn. We will go around lives and lives like the Buddha 500 times lives. And sometimes it makes me feel some like, what's is this all about? Why? And I know there's no answer. What I know is that we are here. We have to make our job, I think, to meditate, to practice, and to get out of here as soon as possible.
Yes, our
What do you-
delusion bring us here. So we need wisdom of the Buddha to stop us from coming back. That's all.
Right, right. And my following question would be, how do we know exactly when it's just thinking or is wisdom? Because sometimes I'm not sure which
Yeah.
one is
Your,
one.
your thinking cannot stop suffering, see, but your wisdom can stop suffering. So when you're stressful and you can stop your stress, then that's wisdom.
Okay, wonderful as usual. And the last question would be, excuse
No, go ahead.
me. The last question would be, anatta, ourself, right? We sometimes ask for respect and all that, but on behind I see myself, the ego, thinking they should respect me, I'm something important, something like that. And I know this is all an illusion, and we are anatta, no self. Can you tell us something else, please?
Yourself comes from your thoughts and your memories. That keep feeding you this sense of a self, you know. But when you meditate and when you enter into jhana, this thing will disappear. And all that is love is just a knowing. Then you understand the nature, the true nature of the mind, or the knowing element. That is just knowing and thinking, that's all. And now the thinking is suppressed, the thinking is stopped. So when there's no thinking, all that is left is just a knowing. And when you come out of jhana, you start to think, then you start to think about yourself again. Then you know it's come from your thinking, and not from real. There's no real thing as a self. We just think about it. We create it by our thoughts. Like the saying say, you think you are, therefore you are. You think I am, therefore I am. Just thinking, that's all. When you enter into jhana, you stop thinking, and then the sense of self disappears. All that is left just the knowing. Then you understand, oh, this is the nature of the knowing element. It's an element that knows, that has the nature of knowing and thinking also, and feeling. But there's no self behind this thinking, feeling, or knowing. There's no self. It's just a sense we created. Like sometimes you're sitting here and suddenly you think somebody's behind you, right? When actually there's nobody behind you, but somehow you create this sense of feeling. Maybe somebody's behind me and trying to choke me or something. It's created by the mind. We call mental fabrication. The self is mental fabrication. There's no real self. You find this when you meditate and enter into jhana. When you stop thinking, then you could not find yourself anymore. Where am I? There's no me.
Yes, yes.
So this
And
is what we all
sh-
lack. We lack the to see the mind in its pure form, without the thinking.
Yes. So I should recall when I'm in that state, jhana, when I'm recall the state before, right? Where there's no self.
You have to repeat your question because your connection is not good.
Okay, sorry.
Go ahead, repeat your question again. Do you have to recall?
Yeah, I'm out. when I'm outside the jhana, do I have to recall when I'm inside the jhana so I know what's the real thing?
Yes, then you have to, every time you react with the self, you say this, there's no self. You should not react with the self. But you can react with sensibility, though. If somebody asks you a question, you can answer the question. But you don't get emotional about it. If the person doesn't appreciate what you say or do, you just be a knowing, not a self reacting. If that's a self, then you won't expect something back. And when you don't get what you expect, then you can get angry or disappointed. But if you don't act with a self, then there's no emotional involved, no emotion involved. You just merely say what or do whatever you have to do or require of you to do. But you don't feel sad if they appreciate what you do or not. You just do what you have to do. You just merely know. If they say something bad to you, you just remain merely know and accept that. Okay, this is what they do. This is what they say. What can you do? You cannot change them. Getting angry at them only causing you the problem, hurting yourself when you get angry. Okay.
Last reflection, I know right now my deep gratitude for you, Tanaja. Thank you.
Okay.
Be well.
Thank you. You're welcome. Next, Intan from Indonesia.
Good evening, Prajan.
Yes, what can I do for you?
Prajan, I just want to inform Prajan, when Prajan asked me why I stay, what is the difference stay at hotel. So after that, I think and realized that I should not stay at hotel. So I decided to continue practice at Wat Yan. Thank you to Prajan. Every time when I think at the, I think I think at the wrong side, and Prajan always remind me.
Yeah, you're usually being misled by your delusion. A couple of days of
Yes.
sensual pleasure might be good, yeah.
Yes.
But
Understand,
meditation is better.
Yes.
Not unless you have some real reason that you have to stay in a hotel, then you can stay in a hotel. But not for comfort, not for sensual pleasure.
Okay.
All right?
Prajan, see you on Monday.
Okay.
Thank you, Prajan.
Okay. Next, Piyao and Indira.
Good morning from
Good morning.
Toronto, Ajahn.
How are you?
Ajahn. Good. We are good. How are you, Ajahn?
Fine, thank you.
We were so happy to see Chek and Sui at Wat Yan, now in Thailand, yes. And we, both of us also, we really want to do it one day to come and see you and come to Wat Yan. Hopefully.
When the time is correct, right? Who knows?
Yeah, when that time comes.
Yes.
We'll cross the bridge when it comes.
Yes.
But in maybe in Sri Lanka, when we are there, we have a bit of a longer stay there. Maybe you can just cross over to Thailand.
Yeah, just about 1 hour or 2 hours flight.
Yes. Yes, Ajahn. Once we did that when we went to Sri Lanka, we went to see lots of monasteries. But then we didn't know about you. So, but it's okay. We will come see you one day. We've learned so much from you, so we are so grateful. It would be a way of showing our gratitude to come and see you, Ajahn.
Okay, you're welcome.
And also, I'd like to say something with regards to what Mandy asked. Even in, for me too, like I had a little bit of confusion about the role of females growing up in Sri Lanka in Buddhism. And but anyways, even here, Ajahn, we have Aya Medhanandi, Aya Anuruddha, Aya Nimala, amazing daughters of the Buddha who's walking the path. So like such a inspiration to all of us females. So yeah, we're very blessed that way too. At Sati Saradi, that is very close to Toronto. Yes.
Okay.
You have anything to say?
Go ahead, Dr. Biao, anything?
I think the fear of death is one thing I think came up a few times, even in the past discussions. I think it's very clearly said in the sutra text that the Sotapanna loses, as you say, fear of death. Now, I think the fear of death, due to 4 reasons, according to a sutta at Anguttara Nikaya 4.184. The one is the attachment to the sensuality. Second is attachment to the body. Third one is they have done a lot of bad things and they are worried the karma results of it. Last one is having doubt and perplexity of the Dhamma. So in the Sotapanna, no, there is no doubt. The last one, if you talk about, there's no doubt of the Dhamma, no perplexity. So that fear is gone. And they don't do a lot of bad karma because they are the 5 precepts. This called the Aryakanta Sila. They abide by the Sila or the morality given by the noble ones. And also, so that's done. That fear is gone. And the attachment to the body too, I guess they know these are the working of the 5 aggregates. It's an activity. It's not something you're doing, the activity. Once you know the activity you're making suffering, you just let it go. And so they have much attachment to the body. They know at least to some extent, anitya dukkha, I guess, anitya dukkha anatta. The final one, the top one is sensuality. So that too, I guess, certain maybe Sotapanna may know that the sensuality is not inherent thing. It's not in the sensual objects. It is your greedy intention is the sensuality. The objects out there, they're pretty, but it's your intention causing. So they have less sensuality, but I guess they still have a sensual desire and anger still in them, as some of the fetters. Only the first 3 fetters are broken. Sakkaya Ditthi, that is the personality view, self-identity view, or Sakkaya Ditthi Vicikiccha, the doubt, because they have no doubt about the Dhamma. And Sila Vruta Paramasa, that is attached to rituals and practices, but still they have the sensual desires and the fear. So that may explain why the fear of death is gone in a Sotapanna. From the sutra text, I just try to understand why.
Well, Sotapanna sees the body is not the mind. See, the mind and the body are separated when you have jhana. So you know the body and the mind are 2 separate entities. So Sotapanna knows that the body and the mind is 2 different things. And he knows that the body is temporarily, it's gonna have to die. But he knows the mind doesn't die with the body. So he's willing to let go of the body because he knows he cannot keep the body. The body is like a servant. And one day the servant wants to quit working for you. So what can you do?
Yes.
You let the servant go, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So they know this is just an activity of the Nama Rupa, the aggregates, like the body, and the other 4 aggregates is the mind, the activity of the mind. Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. Rupa is the first one, the body, I guess. So it's an activity of these 2 together, like a driver and the car, as you said before. The car is the body, the driver is the mind in there. And the driver get off. And one day...
This is the main knowledge that caused the mind to be able to let go of the body.
So you had to get off the car.
To see the mind and the body are 2 separate persons. By separating them in meditation. When you meditate, when you enter into jhana, the body is separate from the mind. All the sensual objects disappear from the mind.
So that's it. They saw the first glimpse of enlightenment, the Sotapanna. That's where the separate two separate entities.
Yes.
Nama Rupa.
The body is temporary, while the mind is permanent.
And just one quick comment on the Abhidhamma. Somebody asked about Abhidhamma. I think
Yes.
most scholars believe that it is post-canonical after the time of Buddha. These are scholarly expansions of the sutra put together, and Abhidhamma Pitaka. There is never found in any of the sutra texts, Buddha never asked to refer to Abhidhamma. He says, refer to sutra and Vinaya all the time. If you
That's
have
right.
doubt, never mention Abhidhamma. So it even a lot of scholars, even Bhikkhu Bodhi talks about it is a post-canonical post, later on added as a third Pitaka. So I don't think you need to study the Abhidhamma unless you're really interested in all those factors. But that's my belief. I think I believe too it's coming, although traditionally it's thought Buddha taught Abhidhamma for Devas and Buddha's mother. That's a traditional thinking, but never found as Abhidhamma per se. It's in the sutra text.
Yes, I think it's an effort to try to organize the Buddha's teaching into book form or theoretical form, easy to study. While the sutta, they are separate, they spread all over the place, depending on who's the Buddha giving that Dhamma talk to that particular instance. So there are so many different type of Dhamma that the Buddha spoke in his suttas. So some scholar might want to organize them into a more orderly way,
Yes.
People
Like mental factors.
to easily to study. Right?
Yes.
Organize them into the 5, the 10, the 20.
This is how they see. That doesn't mean you're going to see the same way, through the same way. So how that person analyze the teachings in a more detailed manner, and they put it into writing. But you might not see the same way of the 20, 30 factors or whatever. The last one I have is about the money. I think this came out today. The question about the money is too much money or whatever. I think there's anyways, having money is also could be a part of dukkha in a way, because what Buddha explained in the nice sutra called Mahadukkha Kanda Sutra. Buddha said about two farmers. He took examples of two farmers. The first farmer works very hard, and there is no water, the dries, the rain, the animals eat the crops, and he's suffering. The second farmer goes through very smoothly. There's rain, there's crops, but he's suffering. In what way? Because he's worried about the kings will take their crops. He'll have to pay taxes to the kings. The rogues, the thieves will take away stuff, his money. So he's suffering. So both are suffering in different ways. In the modern context, maybe we're worried about taxes or stock market or whatever fluctuation, and the bankers, like they're after you and so forth. So it's I guess suffering either way.
Yeah, only if you only have enough for supporting your body, then money can be beneficial only in that regard. If you don't have money, you don't have no food, then you need to have money to buy food and for living requisites. Once you have all this for, then any extra money is a burden to your mind, cause you to worry. And one day you have to lose it anyway also.
Yeah.
So it's better to give it away. When you give it away, you experience the joy of giving. And this joy of giving also remain in your mind and carries you over into the next realm of existence, into the happy realm of existence.
That's true. That's a spiritual happiness, like a niramisa sukha, right? It's called, yeah.
That's true. Ajahn, I have a quick question. I know time is short, but there are two ways of enlightenment, like they say, Cheto Vimukti and Jnano Vimukti, Prajna Vimukti. So Cheto Vimukti is more through jhanas and...
No, what it means is that someone who is in Cheto Vimukti is someone who is well adapted in the practice of samadhi. They have special psychic powers.
Okay.
But someone who is in more of a panya vimutti, they are more wisdom wise. They do more wisdom work. And they don't have the special jhana. I mean, they don't have the special samadhi like psychic powers or anything like that. Like the two chief disciples of the Buddha.
Yes.
Sariputta
Sariputta and
is called the wisdom vimutti, panya vimutti. While the Mokkhalana is called Ceto vimutti.
Yes.
But you need both. You still need both to become enlightened. You need jhana, you need wisdom.
Yes.
But one is more adept in wisdom, and the other is more adept in samadhi.
Yes.
That's all.
Thank you.
For the audience, I would say in English, Chetamukti is the awareness release, as Panyamukti is the discernment release. But some people have both. Because Ubhutoba Vimukti, they can combine both, that release in both ways.
Thank you, Dhanajan.
Yeah, but you still need samadhi.
Yes.
Minimum samadhi. Or you need four jhana.
Yes.
At least. But sometimes you have more. You might be able to enter into the rupa jhana. So. But this is not important. It's not necessary. All you need is the basic jhana, the fourth jhana. And then with wisdom, you need to know the three characteristics of existence and the Four Noble Truths. But anything more than that is considered surplus knowledge, which the Buddha had and Sariputta had. They use their surplus knowledge in teaching other people, using it to teach other people. Because you can use simile, you can use comparison, explaining things that make things clearer with examples.
For us, we need only the leaves in the hand, the Four Noble Truths.
That's right.
Not the leaves in the forest.
Yeah, but the Buddha knows all the leaves in the forest. Yeah.
Yes.
So in teaching, he will teach us the Four Noble Truths.
Yes.
The Eight Noble Path. That's all we need to know.
Thank you so much, Dhanajan. Theruvan Saranai.
All right. Finally, to Diana. I think you're the last person tonight. Okay, Diana, go ahead.
Namo Buddhaya, Ajahn Suchart. I have some following up questions. So with this fourth jhana, it's like once you have it, then you like, would it be like under person's control? It's like it's in your pocket and you could just pull it out whenever you need it, or do you just like?
No, you have to maintain it. You have to maintain it. When you stop when you stop practicing it, you can lose it.
So then the goal is to reach it so you can like maintain it in your practice or in your daily living.
You use it to assist your wisdom in order to get rid of your defilement.
In meditation practice, not like walking around or something like that.
Well, you can use it walking around, but the main purpose is to protect your mind from the defilements, to get rid of the defilement that caused you the dukkha, the suffering.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I also had some question about like the mind of the Arahant, like so the chitta of the Arahant has been purified, right?
Yes, they get rid of all the defilement.
And then the question that keeps arising, like, so how exactly does it impact their bodies? Like, do their bodies get purified? Because after after they're passing away, I heard there's like little enlightened pieces that are left. Is that like the matter has been enlightened, or like, can you share?
No, it's the pure mind can also purify some parts of the body, the bones, some parts of the bones, changing it from bones into minerals, into elements, into relics, like turning into precious stone, for instance.
So does that mean as we are moving towards that pathway and our minds get purified, it also affects our bodies?
Yes, the purified mind can also purify some part of the body.
And does that mean that the body somehow then supports our mind purification?
No, the body is just being affected by the purification of the mind only, not the other way around.
Mm-hmm. And the question is like, sometimes, like let's say there's some struggle in the practice or with the defilement, where, and sometimes like feeling the weakness and knowing the weakness of the defilement and feeling lost, like where exactly to where exactly find the support to kind of wishing to moving forward, but realizing that I'm not moving forward. Like, is there like, what can I do to increase the for support for the mind?
You need to be close to a noble disciple of the Buddha or his teaching, because when you listen to their teaching, your mind can become inspired and you can become energized and push you to do more practice.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then it comes back to just staying on the path of Dhamma, and just regardless the feeling and the defilement, just like keep investing the time and energy into the path.
Yes, just keep studying more Dhamma, listen to more Dhamma talk when you feel lost or you feel don't have the energy to do the practice.
Mm-hmm.
And,
mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Oh, I know that there's been, since I've joined, we've talked a lot about responsibilities for the towards the parents, and a little bit we touched on like responsibilities for the parent to the child again. Like sometimes I is it kind of, would it be the same as towards our parents? Like the Dhamma responsibility, like to share the Dhamma with the children, and then to share the path, or because like I have a child, right? And
yes, Dhamma is something good to share. It's the best gift of all gifts. If you want to give somebody anything, if they can appreciate the Dhamma, then it's better to give them Dhamma than money, for instance.
Can let me just
But you have to find the right person also. If they don't appreciate Dhamma, then it's not good to give them Dhamma. If they appreciate money, then it's better to give them money.
Okay. Oh yeah, something about the feelings we were talking, you were speaking about today. So like I'm not quite sure I understand how to like respond without feeling anything, because I find that I'm either feeling something positive or feeling something negative. And the question is like, is it possible to, let's say, to be experiencing a negative defilement, let's say, but still like somehow through awareness not be attached to it? Like, is that kind of what that's as far as I got towards understanding like how to.
Well, when you start to react with like or dislike, then you know this is defilement. So you want to restrain it. Don't react with like or dislike. Try to react with sensibility or react with kindness, loving kindness or compassion.
So if I'm aware of the reaction, does that mean that I have that mindfulness over it, and then I can choose my response? Is that it?
That's right. If you have mindfulness, then you can know how your mind is reacting with like or dislike or nothing at all.
Okay. Is it? I guess I haven't explored that possibility. Maybe my mind is not that sharp. And then what's it do?
Yeah, you have to get into jhana to get to that point where your mind become neutral, becoming, neither like or dislike, neither fear or deluded. It just remains just merely knowing.
Oh,
people can say bad thing to you and you don't feel anything. You just know that they're saying something bad, but you don't react with like or dislike.
So that's from jhana.
Yeah, you have to practice jhana to
So
get to that point.
Is jhana something we can take to our next lifetime?
If you keep practicing, yes, it will become a habit. In your next lifetime, you will do more jhana than do other things.
And then eventually it would get us into like to arahantship and enlightenment.
Yes, you get to the level of wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay. I also wanted to ask you about this, like a bigger defilement, like something like trauma, which causes like freezing or feeling. Like, so basically it's causing like the lack of feeling, like it's called like freezing. So is this something that mindfulness also help with eradicating? Like this kind of
I'm not sure about what you say when you say freezing something.
Freezing is just like numbness of feeling,
Numbness.
which is often the result of trauma that hasn't been processed. Like trauma would be like a feeling that for some reason a body or mind wasn't able to process due to extreme fear, let's say. It just like a blockage of feeling, and then I guess a numbness, like a lack of feeling, a lack of awareness. So then my question is, could application of this
mindfulness
mindfulness be workable to unfreeze it, so then the awareness comes through, and then I can work with the whatever is trauma blocking?
Well, the problem is, can you get over the freeze or not? If you cannot get over the freeze, you cannot get to mindfulness.
Well, that's why I'm asking you about it.
If you can get to mindfulness, then you can overcome the freeze. But how do you overcome the freeze to get to mindfulness in the first place? You just have to wait for the freeze to disappear before you can come back to mindfulness.
I'll need to spend a little more time reviewing your answer here.
Okay.
This is just what came up this week where the freezing was happening. I was faced with this freezing, and then I realized that
sometimes you just have to wait for time to heal itself, heal the problem.
it just looks like it's gonna take a long time, so I'm just trying to quicken it.
I know, but that's anatta. You try to deal with something that you cannot control.
Okay.
Anyway, try it anyway if you can.
I will try it.
All right.
To wait for it, I guess.
I could be wrong. I don't know. You have to try to experiment and find out for yourself.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out a way, because what I realized, it's the mind was not wanting to deal with this freeziness, so it would like not be mindful, basically. Like the mindfulness is leaving because it's like, oh, I'm not going there, but it's unconscious, obviously.
It's
So I was just trying.
It's the freeze that suppresses the mindfulness. So you have to wait for the freeze to disappear before mindfulness can return.
Oh, I just feel so blind during the process, like blind and like I'm wasting time, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I think that's about it. Well, now we go to Kunju for more questions, if there's any.
Yes, we have 5 questions from Facebook. Ajahn Ka. The first question is from Jason Morris. Does a healthy body, which gives you a healthy mind, help with meditation? Thank you.
Actually, the healthy body doesn't give the healthy mind. Healthy mind can come from practicing Dhamma. So, but if you're happy physically and mentally, then it's good. It's easy for doing the meditation practice. Yes.
The next question from Jason is it wrong to have a balance of family life, sports, and a little social with no alcohol in your monthly life? I have been meditating for 2 years for 1 hour in the morning, and it sets me up for a day here in Pattaya.
It's up to you to decide which formula you want to maintain with your life. But ideally, the more meditation you can do, the better will be for your mental state of mind.
The next question is from Minnie Pool. Dear Ajahn, if we are a leader of a nation and another nation takes advantage of our nation, what should we do?
Wait until you become one first before you look for that answer.
If we are an ordinary person, someone takes advantage of us, what should we do?
Can you repeat the question again?
If we are an ordinary person, someone takes advantages of us, what should we do?
If you want to remain calm and peaceful, then let them do whatever they want to do.
The next question is from Sam Ko. Bow to Ajahn. May I know what to do if our parents stubbornly tell us something that we don't agree or even harm us, but it will affect our whole direction of life? How to fulfill filial piety in this scenario? Thank you.
Well, if something that they tell you can hurt you, then you don't have to believe and do what they tell you to do.
The next question is from Sulan. Dear Ajahn, hope you are well. Your advice last week was very helpful. I have a question to ask. How is it that some people have so much energy than others, even if they eat a lot? How can we grow our energy level and fight tiredness all the time? Thank you.
Well, there are two types of energy, mental energy and physical energy. Physical energy comes from doing a lot of exercise, running, jogging. You get a lot of physical energy. And mental energy, you have to do meditation. You have to practice mindfulness and meditation. Okay, is that all?
Just one last question just came in from Angeline. How to explain dana terms to lay people in order to encourage them to do dana?
How to explain to them?
How to explain dana terms to lay people in order to encourage them to do dana?
Just tell them dana is food for the mind. The more you give, the more happy will your mind be. The more contentment you will get from the mind.
And the second part to that is how to encourage children to do dana, sila, and pavana.
By example, you do it with them. Like in the morning, you take them to the temple and give food to the monks, for instance. You have to teach them how to do it first. And if you keep doing this, then you can start a habit for them. So when they grow up, then they will start to be able to do dana themselves.
That is all, Ka.
Okay. That's about all the time we have for tonight. Thank you for your company. I hope this meeting is useful and can push you or propel you to a higher level of practice. In the meantime, please stay safe, be mindful, and keep on practicing. And if all goes well, I'll see you all at the same time next week. Thank you and goodbye.
Sadhu,
Thank you,
sadhu,
Prabhupada.
thank you, thank you,
Thank you so much.
thank you, Amy.
Sadhu.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Sadhu. Thank you, Tanjan.
Good night, Amin.